Hello guys, this is Nat Blue with a new video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the new D&D Dragon Redesigns for the 2024 core rulebooks. This is a pretty short video on YouTube that we're going to be reviewing from the official Dungeons & Dragons channel, and I kind of want to jump right into it. There are going to be a couple of weird things going on with these videos for a bit. I don't know if anybody has noticed, there have been a couple of double uploads. I've uploaded a couple of videos on the weekends, which I don't do very often. I mostly just try to catch up. These guys are releasing videos about 4 to 5 days before my videos are releasing, so I'm trying to close that gap a little bit. So this might be double uploaded on a day with a different D&D video. So you can check the channel to see if there's another video that you might be interested in. But we are going to hop right into this.
The Gold Dragon redesign is very much harkening back to the earliest editions of how Gold Dragons looked, and this is kind of merging two different editions into one. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when we did all of the dragons together, when we were looking at them all, the way that I approached that was basically 2 casts of 5 with a larger cast of 10, right? So thinking about them as characters. My perspective.
Who's Josh? They should have introed this video by introducing Josh. Is he like a design guy for D&D maybe?
On character design or creature design is if it's a thing that can talk and walk and has motives and motivation, it's a character. It's not actually a creature, it's not a monster. So how do we look at these characters as a set of 10 and how do we differentiate them? So we got a chance to kind of approach them almost from a not, I wouldn't say a clean slate, but looking at what was there in 2014, looking at the text, reading the monster manual, reading every entry, understanding where they live, what their motivations are, where their biome is, and trying to create visual designs that, looking back at the previous editions, all of them, what was working really well there, and what do we want to bring forward? And so we look at the Gold Dragon. That's a good example of, we liked kind of the first and second edition vibe of how it was there, and that was somewhat maintained in the 3rd through 5th edition styles. But we wanted to kind of go back and harken back to that previous design in a way to help separate it from the crew, because there was, even within the metallics, the gold does sort of stand apart as being different in a way, right? It's more mysterious in a way, right? Mercurial. It likes to be in its own space. It likes to live isolated in a way. Whereas the Silver Dragon is very opposite, right? It's personable, it's happy to engage and talk with people, and most of the other ones are too. It kind of felt like creating a separate creature entirely from like a metagaming, power gaming standpoint. Also, if you could create a perfect dragon to beat the red dragon, it would basically be the gold, especially if you make it have wings where it doesn't need them to fly.
Okay. I like that they're making the dragons look a little bit more diversified. So I know a lot of issues with the dragons in 5e is when you're buying minis of them, they do kind of look alike, just with different color schemes most of the time. I mean, obviously the metallic dragons are more metallic. They look like metal. The gem dragons look a little bit shinier than the other dragons, but the core design is about the same. I like this like Asian dragon look, like the traditional Asian dragon, where it's more of a serpent that can fly than it is like I don't know, a dinosaur with wings. So I do really like this design of the gold dragon. The other metallic dragons looked cool, but I really like this design for the gold dragon. I don't understand the comment about if there was something that could beat the red dragon. Are they saying like design wise or popularity wise or any fight? Because I do think other dragons can beat red dragons in a fight. Dragons are the most famous of the dragons, but I mean, I feel like a black dragon or a blue dragon, there's a chance, right? I mean, the other metallic dragons, there's a decent chance, I feel like. Some of the gem dragons, I think there's a decent chance. I don't understand that comment, whether or not it's a popularity thing, or whether or not they're trying to say that the dragons are going to fight each other. I could be wrong. The The red dragon might be a higher CR level than the others, but I don't think it is.
Because now what you have is you have a dragon that is immune to fire. So one of the biggest threats.
Never mind. I get what they're saying. This dragon can barely take damage from the red dragon. That's what they're trying to say. It can't take fire damage.
It can fly, but it doesn't need its wings. And it's aquatic, so it can breathe underwater for a long time. So you have a very easy counter to your red dragon of basically a long coiling snake-like serpentine dragon in the gold that could wrap around a red dragon, be immune to fire, and then drown it.
And that still has a weakening spray as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. So
Drowning a red dragon is so intense. I kind of like that. It would be crazy. Because a lot of factors just have to go in there. You would have to have the red dragon in a place that has a big enough body of water. I do, like I said, I love this weapon design. So it can fly without wings by probably just moving through the air, which is cool, like gliding through the air. But it can also swim, so it's almost a sea serpent. So that's pretty cool too. So far, the gold dragon's pretty sick. I feel like we're a third of the way through the video, and they've only talked about one of the dragons really. So I wonder if they're going to talk about the other dragon redesigns, maybe some gym dragons. Look at Todd's smile. That's a happy man right there.
there was a lot of thought in that of like, this is just feels like it makes sense.
I was struck by the loneliness of it just being in this isolated, dead civilization, and it just swirling in the center of all of it. It's this very kind of beautiful, gorgeous thing amongst all this decay.
That was so much what we wanted, was that when you look at it, there's sort of a little bit of a sadness to that. There's a little bit of a quietness to that, a calmness to that, a little bit of like a melancholy, right? Where this is a creature that would sit and think about that types of stuff in a way. Like it's probably more interested in a ruined kingdom because of why it fell and how it fell, and thinking about history in that way. So creating an image that can hopefully evoke that right away, that this is a creature that is different, and the way that it thinks and acts is different. And we tried to do that very intentionally with all of the metallic illustrations of showing how they would interact with people. So on the silver dragon, it was showing sort of an opposite of the coin in the metallic. It's very different, right?
Yeah.
It's all about celebration, and it's this massive creature in the middle of this city or arena where it's like celebrating this war or something that they've come home to, and everybody is like war or.
Real quick. Does this picture confirm that the handgun is in this edition? I mean, I guess they could keep it in as a non-playable race. I always forget that the handgun has a monster stat block. But okay. I don't know why they're focusing so much on the metallic dragons. We're halfway through the video. We should probably start talking about other dragons, right? The name of the video is New D&D Dragon Redesigns.
And everybody is like happy that this is finally over, and their champion is kind of telling them that peace is here, right? Whereas the gold dragon is kind of isolated and alone and thinking about the future in a way.
So we're talking about dragons. I'm also really excited that we have this digital dragon art book that comes with anyone who pre-orders the digital physical bundle on D&D Beyond. And this is over 50 pages. It's 100 pieces of art. There will be a lot of pieces only seen in this book, about 25 plus, where we're really showing the steps along the way to these final designs. And we have a lot of really great orthographics of each dragon that really kind of illustrate the scenes, and these kind of bring the dragons to life. And so the other dragons had redesigns as well. Like,
they did.
How did you kind of like ramp up these classic designs?
Yeah, for each of them we wanted to play up what was there, right, especially in their personality. And the black dragon is, you know, basically all about ruin and death and decay and hate. It's evil, and it's the purest incarnation of evil, in the fact that it hates everything. It probably hates itself. You know, it just genuinely is a despicable creature. So how do you portray that? When you look at this creature, this character, you should have zero questions that this is an evil creature, this is a bad creature, that this is something you can try to parlay with and talk with, but the likelihood of it is not super high, you know, of it going well. So we really wanted to play up, sort of that. I remember actually reading the 2014 manual. I think it said something along the lines of when an ancient dragon gets to that age that the skin starts to slough off of its face. And so just thinking about what does that look like?
Okay, I feel bad because I said to stop focusing on the metallic dragons. I do feel like there's only a minute left of the video. They're probably pretty much only going to talk about the black dragon, but the red dragon doesn't need changed. I would have liked to hear if they had done redesigns for like the blue, white, green, the gem dragons, who I wonder if they are even putting into this edition, because the gem dragons are a relatively new addition to D&D. I just don't remember which book they got introduced in. What I was going to say before I got sidetracked is I do really like this black dragon redesign. So first off, I love all of the spikes and this earlier picture that they showed. There's like venom dripping out of its mouth, like acid. And then I also really like in this picture how the wings are like bat-like. So that's pretty cool. All of the holes in the wings. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Dracolich, which I know it's not a Dracolich, but the design reminds me a little bit of the Dracolich. And then I do love this skull design on the front with the horns and the exposed skull, because he said the ancient dragons lose skin. So I think this is just overall really cool.
The skin starts to slough off of its face. And so just thinking about what does that look like? There's probably bones under there. There's probably really thin skin that's like stuck to its face, so making that almost translucent, and just exploring what that could be to play up the sort of what you could there. And there's a lot to play with there, actually, to make this creature feel really, really gross and really evil.
And then the red dragon has this, it's massive. I mean, you get a sense of how massive the silver dragon is because you have the context of the crowd around it in this arena. The red dragon is just enormous.
It's huge. Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah, the red dragon is huge. We wanted to update the red, and the red was the one we probably updated the least. It's sort of the most iconic. The things we wanted to play up with that one most was sort of the threat. If you think about a cast of 5, what is that leader of those 5 kind of like, right? So this is the apex predator in a way of all of the chromatics, and in a way of all of the true dragons. So bigger, more ferocious, more angry, more vain, more terrifying, is whatever we can do to like push that is what we were going for.
And
so I don't know if it was necessary to make the red dragon bigger. I understand it's the most iconic dragon. Like he said, it's the leader of the chromatic dragons. Dragons normally don't have hierarchy like that. It's not like they have a king. I understand Critical Role did that whole thing with the Chromatic Conclave or something. I've only watched the show. I haven't watched the actual play. But I don't know if they needed to make the red dragon bigger. It's cool, I guess. It's not a big deal. I wanted to hear more about the other dragons. What this video felt like, it was only a little over 6 minutes long. It felt like an ad for the Gold Dragon Digital Mini and the Dragons of D&D digital art book. And trying to get people to pre-order the digital bundle off of D&D Beyond. Or I think just pre-order from D&D Beyond to get the digital art book. I enjoy dragons. They're such an iconic part of the game. It's literally in the name. I was really hoping to hear in this video what they were doing about the gem dragons, a little bit more about the metal dragons, because they really only talked about the silver and gold dragon when there are copper and bronze dragons. And then, honestly, to hear more about the chromatic dragons, because I think there's some cool stuff you could do with like the white dragon. You could have it look a little bit more frosted over kind of thing. the green dragon, you could play into the poison a little bit more. And then like the blue dragon, you could play into the lightning attacks a little bit more. Have it have like scars from the electricity on its body and stuff like that. Maybe have bright, shining blue eyes and things. I feel like they didn't do this video justice by only talking about the gold dragon, which I understand talking about the gold dragon first makes sense. It's a pretty big focus in this edition with it being on the cover. But the gold dragon, a little bit about the silver dragon, and then mostly, I liked the black dragon part. I enjoyed the stuff they talked about, but I feel like they could have done a better job with this video by just taking more time to actually talk about the dragons. And I would have liked it if they introduced the guy at the beginning, because I have no clue who that is. I wonder if it says in the description who he is. It 100% doesn't. Okay, cool. But yeah, this mall seemed like an ad for the Dragon Artwork book. The Dragon Art book. If you pre-order the core rule books. Then they did a video about dragons. Just make a video about getting added stuff with a pre-order. And don't call it new D&D Dragon Redesigns. I think that would be cool. Overall, though, I love the look of the gold dragon. The red dragon always looks cool. The black dragon, I think that got a huge improvement with the new redesign. The silver dragon, I think, looks pretty similar to the silver dragon right now. Sorry for ranting so long on that. We turned a 6-minute video into more than a 16-minute video so far. If you disagreed with anything I said, please leave a comment. If you agree that this was more of an ad than a video about dragons, or if you just agree that the dragons look sick that we did get to see, you can also leave a comment. I just like comments, guys. Otherwise, you know the spiel. Like the video if you did like the video. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this as I release them. Like I said, the release schedule might be expedited a little bit just so that I can catch up for you guys. And hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when these videos release. I really like making videos about this new edition. Hopefully we get to hear some more cool stuff soon. Other than that, I hope everybody is having a great day. And until next time, peace.